What's up, guys? So, different style video today. Me changing the oil on my truck, and nothing crazy there. But I'm gonna just be using a couple new products that I've never tried before, and heard a lot of good things about them. So I figured help spread the word. So first thing is this high capacity oil filter from PPE. A lot of you probably may or may not know about PPE. Make very great products. I actually have another one of their products installed on my transmission, and I'll show you guys that when I get down there. And then we're going to be using this system from Valvomax. It is a oil drain system where you're going to remove the factory oil pan bolt and replace it with this, which has its own little setup here, as you can see. But if you look, there's a little ball down the center of it right there. And when you go to drain your oil from now on, instead of having to remove the whole thing, you're just going to attach this guy to it. And if you look at the end right there, it's going to push in that ball the more you screw it in. And essentially, the more you screw in, the more flow is going to come out of this. And then you can just direct this towards an oil pan. They also make, I believe it's up to 10 quarts. It's like a little oil bag, quote unquote bag. It's like a carton for oil. So I didn't buy that because I just wanted to try this and get this installed first. My pops is skeptical about it because he's just afraid that it's gonna leak potentially. But I have some good faith. It's got a nice little washer and this little gasket within the washer to help keep it from leaking. And I mean, this, if you screw that on pretty tight, I would be shocked to see if it leaked. But yeah, we're gonna be changing the oil. Won't lie to you guys, I'm potentially facing a lifter issue, maybe. The other day, when I got back from cruising looking for photo locations, I heard a very audible ticking sound. And I know lifters and ticking is more than it can be a lot of things. I mean, this oil is pretty old, so who knows, maybe a new oil change will help quiet it down. But yeah, that being said, it's a very stock engine. I've literally done nothing to it. Nothing at all. I've just left it as is just because I haven't really had the money nor the desire to do much. I think if anything, I'd probably get rid of this first. Just go with the regular elbow shape. Open up some space here in the engine bay. I know I can get a UPR catch can for the oil, which I can install here, and it'll hook up to here and over there. If you can see the other one right there where the tip of my finger is. Yeah, I've thought about doing all that, but beyond the transmission thermostat bypass that I've done and the AFM disabler that I have installed on this, I really have done nothing crazy to it. It's still stock ride height, pretty much stock everything. I did add a power folding mirror switch, but my tow mirrors are not power folding like I assumed they might be. So that's partially my stupid fault for assuming they would be. But yeah, very little mods have been done to this thing. And I don't know if I would ever modify it too heavily because in my town, there's really not many savvy mechanics when it comes to things like tuning and things like that. Because I've thought about doing a valve train kit from Texas Speed, but truthfully, I'm just a little nervous to do it myself. Mostly because it's the valve train. I've never messed with the valve train on an engine. All I've ever done is like oil changes and brake changes, and that's pretty much it on a vehicle. But I know Texas Speed, they have a new AFM kit that comes with the bare minimum of what you need to get rid of the cylinder deactivation. And they even opt you to request for a plug and play tuner, you know? So I could probably do that, see how that goes. I just, I've been on the fence about it just because I'm wanting to see how much I get out of this engine before something super catastrophic happens. And as long as it's nothing to the point where the engine is like dead and I have to get a whole new block, you know what I mean? Hoping that's not the case. Knock on wood. But yeah, we're gonna get started on that here in a bit. Should be nice and cool now. So I'm gonna get under there. I'll show you guys the thermostat bypass valve, which has been working great. I can talk about that later on in the video. But with that being said, boys, let's get under this thing. Okay, guys, so we're under here. There's the oil drain, the oil pan bolt right there. Let me maneuver you guys a little bit. It's my old filter. I've been using Mobile One since I purchased the truck. Real quick, I'll just show you guys. Let me push that out of the way. So the other product from PPE that I use is this right here. This is the thermostat bypass. So essentially now the hot and cold lines from my transmission fluid all the way up to the stock cooling in the front, it's constantly just sending cool fluid and hot fluid. There's no little ball system where you have to wait for it to move out of the fucking way. Yeah, I got rid of that the minute I found out that was a thing. But we will see what happens from there. Thank you, Pops. So yeah, this has been running a lot better actually. It's been shifting a lot better. Super useful little mod you can do to help save your 6L80 or your 8L80, whichever one you have. I think if you have the 5.3s, you always get the 6L80E, and if you get the 6.2s, you get the 8-speed, the 8L80. But with that being said, let's see if I can't. I should have just hand tightened this. Yeah, there we go. It's starting to give. Come on, baby. Come on, darling. Oh, wait, no. Fuck, I was doing it the wrong way. Idiot. This is the problem that I have. It's getting underneath here to do this shit. I got it up on these little drive-up Rhino ramps from Walmart. My pops bought them for me. They're pretty helpful, but I wouldn't mind having this thing up on a lift. I'm gonna just cheat and use this just to kind of try to help me out a little bit here. Come on now. There we go. She giving slowly but surely. Come on, girl. I just want you to turn for me. Okay. Just keep on turning for me. Okay, so I might have made a little error, boys, if I'm thinking about it correctly now. I might have been tightening it. It does feel like it's getting a lot looser. There we go. Yeah. Oh yeah. And there she blows. Color's not terrible. I know, funny. I'm trying to look at this color on a black glove. Yeah, personally, boys, I got all the time in the world. I don't mind waiting a little bit. Whatever gets most of this oil out is perfectly fine with old camage. Let's keep turning her. Oh yeah. There we go. That's some good flow.
Oh boys, that was almost bad. We almost tightened this thing on to the point of no return, which would have been silly on my part, but you know, what can I say? I'm a silly guy. Hopefully no splashage will occur. Come on. Just come on, girl. Just need you to fall for me. Okay, whew. Okay. Whew. Still a little warm. Warmer than I thought. But we're fine. Oh yeah. She's big chillin'. Oil looks, like I said, it looks okay. It's not as bad as I thought. I did tow with this truck recently with my friend Oliver. We went down to old El Paso to get him a new parts truck for you bitch. And that was pretty good. This rig actually tows quite well, all things considered. I'm gonna get a little rag, boys. Give me a minute. Oh yeah, she done dripping. Good. So I'm gonna move you guys back, just because when the bolt goes, it could potentially be major splashage, and I don't want to get you guys all full of some used OW20. Still trips me out that these newer trucks run on such a low viscosity oil, but what do I know? Yeah, you guys should be good right there. Tilt you down a little bit. Let me see, actually, where's my rag? Old microfiber. Just gonna clean up some of this here drippy. Oh no. Nah, he's fine. He can get too dirty. Okay, so original oil pan is a 15 mil, so we're just gonna, come on baby. There we go. So, trajectory of whatever the hell that metric is called, where a rapidly spilling liquid is gonna go boop. So, and there we go. Whew. There she blows. Minor splashage occurred, nothing major. Nothing an authority figure needs to be warned about. I almost had another predicament, boys. My front suspension needs to be totally swapped out. I'm gonna need new tie rods, which I'm looking at right now. See where I'm gonna have to replace them at, and I need new front struts. I'm trying to make sure that everything else under here is still in decent condition though. Like, what the fuck is that? Just like a clear plastic wrap? I've been looking at stuff from Shock Surplus, and I don't want anything crazy. I'm gonna probably just do like a 2.5 inch overstock ride height, preferably Bilsteins, just to help with payload capacity. We'll maintain payload capacity. So I'm gonna do 6112 struts in the front, PPE tie rod ends with Bilstein upper control arms. You guys can't really see it from here, but they have a, Dirt King has some alignment clips. They basically make it to where the alignment never moves once you set it. So I'm thinking about doing that with some 5100 shocks in the rear. And instead of doing a block lift in the rear, I'm tempted to do a Deaver mini pack. I really don't want to do a lift block. I've never really liked the way lift blocks work. And I know they're not necessarily good for suspension. There's a lot of shit in there. Okay. So boys, if you would bear with me. If I can recommend any product to you guys, I mean, there's tons of people who already advocate for them on the internet, but I mean, just look at the size of this filter. This is a pretty good upgrade over that Mobile One filter I've been using. PPE is a very well-known brand for their quality of parts that they make. Highly recommend it. And so, we're just going to take our Mobile One Extended Performance. I'm going to just put a little bit in this filter first, just to start her off. When got some on my finger, then we'll oil up the gasket. So, filter is topped with oil and a little bit on the gasket. All right, let's get back under there. First order of business. I really like the way that looks. 1,000 times better. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say it's good right there. Okay, so we are just going to wipe that away a little bit. Where's that new plug? Take the old plug from Valvomax. Okay. Oh yeah. I like the way that looks already. So as you can see, boys, this is how it's basically gonna go. We're gonna lower that, plug in that other thing, have a little tube, drain it in ye old pan. You get the idea. It's not rocket science, thankfully. Yeah, I'm gonna get a couple wrenches just so I can torque this thing down, because they do say to torque it down to a specific spec. Unfortunately, I don't have one of them wrenches to where I could torque it down to ye old spec, but we will do our best. As usual, we are trying to do our best here for old girl. Okay, boys, let me go get that wrench. Silly me. Last attempt before we bug Pops to see if he's got a tool that is adequate for this job, but I think this one will. I think this is our holy grail. There we go. Yeah, that's what I wanted right there. I wanted that there. That there grip. Yeah. No, she good. And now we'll just put that back on. Go. Cool. Pretty cool new setup we got under here, boys. Now let's put some oil in her and double check that she don't drip.
A few inches later.
What's up, guys? Probably couldn't hear me. So what's up, guys? We are just cruising along in the truck. Hold on now. Stay with me, boys. We're trying a little funky setup. Nothing crazy. But I want to give it a good college try filming this way. I am so sorry, guys. So we're just cruising along. Truck is now finally at 100,000 miles. 100,040 miles exactly right now on my odometer. It peaked 100,000 miles the other night when my dad and mom were driving around with me. I took them to some of the breweries that me and the guys go to here in town
for some birthday beers. I turn 27 this Monday. But I digress. That lifter noise that I thought I was hearing, I haven't gotten the truck, I guess, as hot as I did that day. So I'm trying to figure out what I did differently that day that maybe caused it to... I don't know what I could have done differently. So I honestly don't know what... I don't know what caused that sound to occur. I really don't. Which is a little bit annoying. But it is what it is, you know? Other than that, the truck's been driving good. I know all I did was change the oil, so it's not going to change anything too crazy. It's mostly the sound of the engine bay. It hasn't made any noises like that. And for all I know, maybe I was just tripping and hearing something. That's where I wanted to put it out here for you guys to see. Maybe tell me, do you guys think I potentially have a lifter issue? I didn't change the oil type or anything. I know a lot of people say they go from OW20 to like 5W20, but other than that, the truck's been driving good, no issues. The transmission shifts great, and I give all that credit to the thermal bypass from PPE. I noticed a night and day difference. I mean, I'm still running it off of the stock cooling setup from factory, so it's still going off of the main cooling reservoir, which cools everything else in the engine compartment. Because I know a lot of people, what they do, they hook up an aftermarket auxiliary cooler, like a Mishimoto or some cooler off of Amazon. I didn't think I needed it, truthfully. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I'm here to tell you guys, unless you are driving consistently through the city with speeds going up and down, stop and go traffic, that is the only time I notice my transmission getting significantly hot like it would before. But even then, it still takes a lot for it to peak over 165 degrees Fahrenheit. My transmission has stayed under 160 degrees Fahrenheit driving regularly, and it stays that temperature even when I'm doing things like towing. I mean, me and my friend Oliver towed his little tow dolly with a late 80s Bronco attached to that, so a significant amount of weight in tow, and the transmission was doing great the whole ride back, because we were going 75 all the way back from East El Paso, and it was like 150 degrees at most. So I'm really happy with that thermal bypass valve. I think it really saved my transmission, because there was a few times where I really did feel the transmission start to shift hard. I have actually learned a lot recently about transmissions thanks to that little mod. I started researching more. I used to think that, not to necessarily say that I used to think that transmissions weren't important, I just didn't understand them a lot myself. I now have a rough idea of, you know, the benefits of an automatic transmission, but also the cons of an automatic transmission. And I understand what my friend Oliver is always trying to tell me. He's always trying to tell me how manuals are better and this and that, and I never understood what he meant by that. I just thought it was just because he had a preference, to which I'm not going to knock him. If it's his preference to run the sticks, he can run the sticks. You know, I never learned how to run the sticks. I mean, I probably would learn now if I was given the opportunity to daily drive a stick. I've tried driving cars. I would just probably... I've had friends try to teach me, and truthfully, I just get intimidated because I know it's not my vehicle. But I felt like if it was my vehicle and I knew that I had to learn how to drive it because it is my vehicle, I would definitely learn, obviously, because I think that's how most people learn things, is when they're put in that scenario of, hey, you got to learn now. But, you know, I've been driving around for a little bit, and my transmission right now is at 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So, like I said, thermal bypass valve by PPE. God damn it. Great mod. Cannot recommend it enough. Really cannot. It's doing everything I wanted it to do and then some. So I'm exceedingly happy. So yeah, guys, I would recommend, if you're going to do that mod, definitely just take into consideration, do you need the aftermarket cooler? Think about how you drive, where you drive it, and honestly, just give it a test run, because you never know, boys. It might be just enough using the stock cooling setup with this bypass valve. I mean, it's enough for me. So what do I have to What do I have to say that it's not worth it? That's what I would recommend to you guys, is give it a test run, try it out, see how it goes for you guys. And then if you decide that you need one, pull the trigger on it. I would say maybe I would if I was running maybe different tires. I'm still running 33-inch tires. So maybe if I was on 35s, I would maybe consider running cooler, just to make sure that I'm keeping the transmission cool, having to move slightly bigger tires with a stock engine and stock transmission. I know gearing is more what you do for running bigger tires. Go ahead and say if I'm wrong. But I think if I was to do another mod to this truck in the future, it'd probably be an oil catch can. I grab one from UPR. I'm just trying to justify the price for what they do. I mean, I know they're beneficial in the long run. I think that's what I need to remind myself, is that in the long run, it will benefit me. I'm just not fully sold on it, if I can be honest, guys. Maybe an exhaust. I don't know. I'm really wanting to wait to pull the trigger on a lot of cool mods. If I need to do the valve train on this truck, I'm trying to make sure that I have money set aside for that as priority. And I think if anything, I'm just going to do it to where it just makes the valve train stock performance maybe slightly above stock, because I don't know if I want to go through the hassle of getting the motor to do like more horse if my transmission is still going to be stock, even though I'm cooling it, you know, because their internals of the transmission aren't going to be too happy at least. Yeah, either way, like I said, guys, back to what I was saying about a stick shift. I was looking a lot into automatics versus sticks. Like, you know, the video I watched was basically explaining it for diesels, but I imagine it's the same logic for gas trucks, even though I know two totally different beasts. Just how you got to, you know, you're going to want to have a built motor. You might want to look into your transmission. And the guy was basically comparing, you know, if you take a built motor and pair it with a stock transmission, you know, you're gonna burn out that stock, especially if it's an automatic. There's a high chance you're gonna burn it out because the motor is performing above what the transmission was meant to do. And he was showing prices of like a built automatic transmission rated for specific horsepower numbers, and you know, it varies depending on the company, but he sounds very satisfied with the company he went with, and it costed him $6,000, but he already had money into the truck, you know, so it sounds like it was an investment that was worthwhile to him and then some. So I don't know. I would definitely take care of other things on this truck first before I go that route. So who knows? Keeping my fingers crossed, just thinking about things like that. It was really interesting though to see how the price difference, because like I said, that was a built automatic transmission for $6,000. And like I said, it varies on the dealer, the builders, and then he was just saying how like the only performance mod you need for a stick shift, I think he said it's a ceramic clutch pack. Again, I don't know much about transmissions, especially sticks, but if all you need is to put in a different clutch pack or an extra clutch pack, if that's possible, or you just need to swap one out for one made out of a different material, then yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound that hard either. And plus, I know that servicing a manual transmission is 1,000 times easier than an automatic, because it's like my friend Oliver showed me one day. He was changing out the oil in his little 4-speed, and I was like, this is it? You just drop it and fill it up? He's like, yeah, that's it. And I was like, well, that's easy. And he's like, yeah, wait till we do yours. And yeah, sure enough, we were at his house until midnight. Had to drop my manifold, get the pan, wiggle the pan out, put in the new filter, you know, drain it all out, blah, blah, blah. It was a process, but I see what he means now about the ease of servicing a manual versus an automatic. So yeah, I mean, if I had a truck that was able to do a manual and all I needed to do is put a clutch pack just to use more power from my motor with that transmission combo, yeah, I mean, fucking A, who wouldn't do that? Who wouldn't spend what is probably dollars versus thousands for a built automatic? But then there's the convenience of an automatic. You're not having to worry about it. You're just cruising along like I am now. But that's where that whole argument of automatic versus manual comes into play. But yeah, guys, other than that, pretty happy with the thermal bypass valve. I'm probably going to keep buying those filters from PPE. I think now that my engine is at 100,000 miles, I'm going to start treating it differently. So I think this next oil change, I might swap out the oil for 5W20. Let me know down below what you guys think. I know there's a lot of people that are very divided on this topic who say, oh no, I've had the 5.3 for this many miles and I ran OW20 its entire life and I just kept up with my intervals, which is what I have been doing. Like I said, I'm mostly just concerned. So if getting an oil catch can should be the next thing versus changing the oil type in my engine, let me know, because I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this, because my opinion is just, I'm aware of the issues of these trucks. I'm aware of the issues of a lot of trucks nowadays, but I'm just looking at it from the perspective, what do I have? I have a 5.3 L83 with AFM, and I have a 6 L80E, which I already kind of took care of because I'm helping it cool down better. And I mean, hell, right now, granted, I'm cruising down country roads, and that's the benefit. Like I was saying, I'm cruising down country roads. I've been cruising for a minute, and my transmission's barely at 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Before this, with that OEM thermostat valve, it already would probably be at 150. Maybe lower because we're going on a clean, straight shot, which is what I noticed the transmission prefers. But who knows, guys? One of those greater mysteries. That's a big dog. It's a good old dog. I'm going to try to do more content like this. I don't really have a lot of money set aside to do crazy cool stuff. I know I'm going to need to do suspension here soon. Definitely here soon. My sway bars, or not my sway bars, my tie rods are shot. I need new struts. So if I do new front struts, I'm definitely going to do some rear shocks. And I'm going to try to go for a slight baby lift. Nothing crazy, just like a real tiny lift, you know? So if I do that, I'm definitely going to go for a leaf pack and not a block set. I know blocks are simple, but I don't know. I think if I was to put the money into it, I'd want to try a leaf pack. So that's probably what I'm going to try. Is a little leaf pack and some Bilstein 6112s with some Bilstein uppers, like I was saying earlier in the video. So if I do anything next, it'll probably be that, because I know the truck needs it, because all my components are leaking badly from the pictures that my tire shop showed me. And you guys are spinning. Oh Lord. Okay. Well, there you guys go. You're a little shorter now. But yeah, guys, 120 degrees Fahrenheit, just barely hit it. It'll probably cool down again once I get back on that road. So, PPE oil filter, highly recommend it. It's a lot bigger than the stock size filters, and PPE has a great reputation. So, happy with that. Going to keep running those filters. Might change my oil weight, catch can, suspension. Not going to really do an exhaust or anything yet until I figure out if I'm going to go with the valve train and all that prior. But one thing at a time, right, guys? So far, this truck looks like it's going to be my future, so why not take my time with it? And as I'll show you guys right now, the mileage is really not a problem, boys. It is really not. If you take a look, trying to... $148,000 miles. We got Obama, you know, so with that being said, guys, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go have some drinks with my best friend and her boyfriend for my birthday tomorrow. So we'll see if I do a little birthday vlog. Maybe not, maybe this weekend, but I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.